Welcome, my name is Catherine. This video is a contest for Jts Record Room. He's reached 3,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And these are the contest rules. Number 1, show 3 records or CDs with food artwork or a song. Number 2, recommend an album to the VC community. And 3, a shout out to a VC channel. So I'll begin with number 1. I looked through my record collection and I don't have a lot of food, but I managed to come up with something. So the first one I'm going to show is the Beatles Apple label. So Apple label began in 1968, and it was intended as a creative outlet for the Beatles. So why did the Beatles change labels from Parlophone to Apple? And why did they choose an apple for the design? Well, they switched because they wanted creative freedom. And the artwork came from a Belgian artist or a painter named René Marguerite. And he was given a painting to Paul McCartney. And I have the picture here. And I'll put the title in script because I don't think I can pronounce it. So the first Beatles album to have this Apple label was the White Album. And the first 45 single was Hey Jude with Revolution on the B side. The next album I will show is, sticking with the Apple theme, The Laughing Apple by Cat Stevens, and I did show this in a previous video. So this album was released September 15th of 2017, and what I want to focus on is the track, the actual song Laughing Apple. This originally was on his second studio album called New Masters that was released December of 1967, and that album had poor sales and failed to chart. So this Laughing Apple on the album I just showed, it's the 4th track, and there are other songs from the New Masters album from '67, such as Blackness of the Night and I'm So Sleepy, and that album also had First Cut is the Deepest. Now, since it failed to chart, Cat Stevens was a struggling artist back then. He sold that copyright to that song, and it was first recorded by P.P. Arnold. That song went to number 18 in the UK. Second, Rod Stewart. It went to number 1 in the UK and number 21 in the US. And Sheryl Crow covered it in the 90s, and it went to number 14 in the US. And it's been covered many times. So I think this album is important because Cat Stevens re-recorded those songs that never got really any attention or were heard. And he's put new production on them, and they sound wonderful. I like them better than that original album. So this is a really good listen. The third album I'm going to show today is this Drifters CD, and my focus is on the song Boardwalk. So like I said, I had trouble finding food on my albums. I mostly have pictures of artists and people. Most of my records are from the 70s and 80s. So the song Boardwalk is a pop song written by Kenny Young and Arthur Resnick, and it was recorded by the Drifters in 1964. It charted at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 on August 22nd of 1964. And I'm going to play a little clip of that song, very short, where it talks about hot dogs and french fries.
From the park you hear the happy sound of the carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs and french fries they sell. Yes, you can.
So those are my 3 albums with food-related topics. Now to recommend an album. And I'll just say most of my albums in my collection are probably familiar to most record collectors because I grew up listening to Top 40 radio. So I have a lot of multi-platinum albums in my collection. So I had to choose an import. something that wasn't released in the United States. So I'm going to show you this John Denver this John Denver album. It's John Denver Unplugged. So this is a re-recording of some of his hit songs. He did this in 1996, and it was released in the UK, and it's really beautiful. I think his voice got better with time. And John was 51 years old, so this would have been, you know, shortly before he had his plane crash and died on October 12th of 1997. So I'm going to leave a link in the description to how I found it. I found it just on YouTube. It came up on my algorithm because I listen to a lot of John Denver. And the channel is called Flipmind. I saved it to my playlist. And it's really a rare record. So what I did is I liked it so much I went on Discogs and I was able to find it from a seller in Denmark. And he sold it to me for a really reasonable price. But last night I looked on Amazon and there were two for sale. One person wanted about $45 for this. The other person wanted $400. And it really is a rare CD. So last, my shout out. So I'm going to shout out Sam St. John. What I like about his channel is when he does videos and shows records or talks about concerts, he's very descriptive. He does such a good job that I can visualize or even hear the sound of the music. And he also collaborates with other VC members and they do topics and discuss them in great detail. And that helps me to meet other people in the VC and check out their channels as well. So I just want to say thank you, JT, for this contest. Congratulations on your 3,000 subs. That's amazing and a wonderful milestone. And if I'm chosen by Sean when you do the drawing, I'll be sure to follow your directions and buy records at my local record store and support a small business. Take care, everyone, and thank you for watching the video.